Hello Internet, my name is Ace and today we're going to be talking about one-point perspective. So this is the simplest form of perspective and you can follow along whether you're using paper and a ruler or if you're using any digital program. I'm just using Sketchbook Pro because it's got a nice ruler in. So what the thing is with one-point perspective is in reality it happens very few times. Okay, we have a thing called a horizon line. Now, in 1-point and 2-point perspective, generally, not always, but the majority of the time, the horizon line is our eye line. So, if we're stood up, assuming we're 6 feet tall, just for simplicity of maths, then assuming our eye line is 6 feet, then everything that is that height is going to be at the horizon line. Anything taller is going to be higher, anything smaller is going to be lower, obviously. Now we can crouch down or we can jump up and the horizon line will move up or down to accommodate that, but we'll just talk about it from the point of view of the eye line. Okay, so let's grab a pencil and just draw a line on your page. Now 2/3 of the way up, it really doesn't matter at this point. All we're talking about is the principle of what 1-point perspective is. So, if we are looking at, say, a road or some train tracks or anything like that, or even if you've got a desk in front of you, if you square onto it and you're looking at it, it's probably going to be in 1-point perspective. Now, what 1-point perspective means is that a square or a rectangle or anything like that, the verticals are going to be vertical, the horizontals are going to be horizontal. So they're not going to be, the sides are not going to be moving off into perspective. The only way that happens is if we are looking flat onto something. Okay, so this object, if we was to rotate it slightly, it wouldn't be in 1-point perspective. We would actually need 2 points. So the thing that this is helpful for, I mean, composition wise, you can get some really great things with 1-point perspective. I've done book covers in 1-point perspective. I've done a ton of things in 1-point perspective, really, and I really like the look of it. You can get some really dynamic things, and you can always put objects in 2-point perspective in your 1-point scene. All right, so where is the vanishing point? Now, on 1-point perspective is the easiest thing. If we're looking directly at something and we want to replicate that, then the point is going to be in the center. Okay, so let me get rid of this. So the vanishing point, which I'll do in red, is going to be right in the center. Okay, so everything's going to come from this point. Now, what if you want to do a scene where things are going off to a vanishing point to the left or right? Well, that's called framing, and we'll discuss that at the end a little bit. So let's go back to our blue line and let's create a square. Okay, so we'll do something, a perfect square in 1-point perspective. In fact, let's make this really big. Okay, so it's slightly off to the left. Okay, it's not a perfect square there, it's slightly to the left. And all 1-point perspective means is that if we grab a ruler, and let me just put one of this point on here. That's just so I can rotate it around. If you're working with a real ruler, all you need to do is just line up your ruler so it cuts through it. And if you want to work with the line tool, if you're working digitally, you can just drag like that. Same thing, but I just like this ruler. So all we need to do is connect this point here to this point here, and do the same on this side. There we go. Now, if we cut away at some point, so let me just grab this line. If we cut through it, then get rid of the stuff behind it, we have a box in perspective. Now, it's this simple. 1-point perspective is dead simple. So the way, in fact, let's do a little scene. Okay, just so you can really get it into your head. what one-point perspective is. So if we was looking at a road, for example, then you would have something like this, where these lines appear to join. And that's what the vanishing point is, the point at which the parallel lines seem to touch the horizon line. Now, if we was looking at this from, if let's say this is a piece of paper, and this is a bird's eye view of what's going on here, this road, the lines are just parallel. This is the road here, and the lines are parallel all the way along. But because as things get smaller, as they get further away from us, well, they actually don't, but they appear to, then that's why things tend to join at a point. Okay, so here is a road. Now let's add, for example, a building. Okay, so we'll make it quite a small building. So if you remember, this point here is 6 feet, for example. This is our eye line. Now 5 feet, however tall you are, this is where your eyes lie. So if we're doing like a small building, then it's, oops, it's not square, there we go. If we're doing a small building, then it's still going to want to be higher than us. Okay, now let's grab our ruler, let's connect this back like so, and we have the framework there for a building. Now we do need to cut that at some point, so let's cut it around here like this, and then if we were to rub out these guidelines, well, not these ones because this is the actual road, but if we was to rub this out as well, it's on a different layer at the moment. This is the horizon line. We're going to keep that for now, but at the end, if you rub all that out, then you're going to get your lines and stuff. So let's create a door in the side of this building. Okay, so we just need a square, and if this is our eye line, the door's going to be obviously slightly higher, so let's just do something like this, and we have a door to this building, the side of the building. Now obviously these are not finished images. The whole point of perspective is to kind of use these as guidelines to then go over the top. So there's that. Now let's have a building that cuts into the side of this one, because obviously there's gonna be more buildings on this street. So how high should we make this building? Let's make this building even, let's make it even higher. So let me just move this out the way. So if we look, then this if we was to draw something here, this is the same height as this building because it's on this same line. Okay, so let's draw something that is bigger. So if this is the line, let's start the building up here. In fact, what we'll do is we'll move it slightly back so we can still see a little bit of that door. Okay, so the side of this building, so let's make this a little walkway here. So this is like a little path in between these two buildings. So if we were, are we able to, no, let's just leave it like this. Okay, so if we was to, like I said, bring this forward, then we'd need to connect this. Now, our horizon line and everything like that is a little, let me just merge things down, like so. And let's just move this down so we can get a bit higher. There we go. So this is the start of the next building. So let's put this on the point. And let's follow this one along. So it's going to cut through that corner, like so. Now we're not actually going to see these parts of this building because it's obviously going to be covered by the front of the building. So let's add in the side of this one. So as you can see, this building is a lot taller than we are, because our eye line is on the horizon line. Okay, so we've got a big building. Now let me just quickly, just rub out all of this, because you're not going to need any of this. Just so you can get a better grasp on the scene. So let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of here. So when things are see-through, it kind of becomes a little awkward to see. Okay, doesn't matter, we've cut into that a little bit. We don't need that line in there. Okay, and let's cut into there. So this is two buildings that are in perspective, in 1 point perspective. And then this was a door, if we remember. So let's just get rid of this horizon line. There we go. So we can see that this is a door. This going into here is a passageway. So let's kind of make this a path, and it's all just joined like that. And there we have. So we have two buildings. Now let's make a door on this building. Okay. So we have our ruler, and this here is the horizon line. So let's make it a similar height. Let's make it the same height as this door that we had on this one. So we're cutting through here, and let's put it to the left somewhat, like this. Then all we need to do is draw some lines down, like this. And again, this is obviously not a fully fleshed out picture. These are just the guidelines. So there we have a door, which is slightly higher than our eye line. You could probably make it even higher than that, and it'd still work fine, obviously. So this building is pretty much twice the size of us, really. Now, that seems to be a problem that people have when working in perspective, is keeping things so they actually are the right height of how things would actually look. And a good way to do that is to just think about whether you're crouching down, whether you're standing up. If you're standing up looking into this picture, then this is going to be your horizon line and the height of a human being. Okay, so you can work things out from that. There are more technical ways to work things out, but that just kind of gets into things and makes things a little bit more kind of, not boring, but a lot more technical. So what we'll do is we'll carve into this building. So let's make this building like a funky shape. So we'll add this kind of look like this. So we're going to carve this shape out of the building. Okay, so all we need to do is we need to go back to our ruler and just connect all the dots that we want to go back. So we've got this. Let's go back. And what I might do actually, what might make a lot of sense, is if and the reason why we're doing this one will become apparent in a second, but what I'll do is I'll maybe do some like how to draw full-on scenes, like maybe work on, I don't know, like a western town, or like a scene for a comic book, and all these things, and how you can actually get these into workable things that look great, and how you can finish out off the image actually to go from just a blueprint to an actual thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect this line back to where this joins. Now, this line where this joins, this is going to be the edge of the building. So let's get our ruler and connect this bit down like so into here. So now, if we rub out all of our guidelines, like all of this stuff, all of this, because in fact now you would actually see the side of this building, so we've messed that up a little bit, but we can add that building back in, it's not a problem. Sorry, rub that out, shouldn't have rubbed that out. Should be rubbing this out. So as you can see, it becomes very easy to start building these kind of cities out and stuff like this. So we don't actually need this line in because we can't see. We know where all these connect. So let's get rid of that, like so. So now we can basically see how, like I say, scenes come together, and you can create very complex things with squares. And let's make this far building. It's going to be quite a thin building, so we'll make it finish like there. Like so. There we go. So we have this smaller building here, and then the slightly larger building, but it's got this kind of section cut out of it. Now, in reality, obviously, these cutouts will be a lot higher than the door to actually structurally work. So we're not really talking about how to create things that structurally make sense, because I mean, we could, but that would be a different lesson completely. So what we can do is we can start doing things at the other side of the road. So we've got these buildings on this side. Now on the other side, what kind of things would need to do? Let's draw like a really tall. Obviously, to get really tall, we'll need to come off the page somewhat. But if we're going really far back here, just this little gap here is 6 feet. So if we're drawing a building that's up here, this is going to be like tall. I don't know exactly how tall. It'd be pretty big. So let's add this huge building like this. Alright. And that would come, let's add the points in, like so. That on there. So we just need to connect the side of this building. It's going to be very extreme because it's a very tall building. Then let's cut that off somewhere. So we'll cut that off maybe there. So this is a big building, like so. Very big. I should put all these things on different layers so you could so it'd be easier to erase, but it doesn't matter. There we go. So we've got a really big building there. So let's put a layer of shops that are a similar height to this one alongside this building here. Okay. So let's grab our ruler, put it on our vanishing point, and we had buildings that came in around there. So let's make these slightly bigger buildings. Okay. So they're going to be about this tall. And then let's grab our square and connect to the bottom line here like this. So we've got this like block of shops now that are going alongside here. And again, if you're working traditionally, it's just as simple really. You're just using a ruler rather than a digital ruler really. And in fact, let's cut this so there is actually a gap here between these two buildings. So you can see how easily we can build up these kind of cityscapes and things like that. Now, what about if we want something coming off the building, like a row of signs, something like this? Now, this space here is actually very far, but we'll still create one big long line. Sign, sign, same thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to come away from the building about this much. So all we need to do is we need to find the thickness, and then we just need to connect the dots. So grab our ruler back, like so. And then connect everything. I actually prefer doing this stuff traditionally. Probably because I've done it traditionally more than I've done it digitally. So as we can see here, we have our sign. Now, where would these things connect out here? Well, it's kind of hard to demonstrate on this because it's so far back and it's very small. But what I'll do is I'll do one a little bit closer, a little bit bigger, so you can grasp it. So what we'll do is we'll just put another kind of sign coming off this wall. So we'll go a bit thicker, like so, and we'll only go back. We'll go back as far. As you can see, this line's going to be quite straight because it's quite close to the horizon line. So we'll do it about that thick. Let's get rid of that. And we'll cut it off about there. So all we need to do to work out how thick something would be is to grab our ruler and go from the point in which it joins the wall, like so. And it's going to be pointless on this top one because it's going to be pretty much the same length as that one. And then just the point at which we connect down here, we're just going to draw a line horizontal across. Like that. So, grab the line tool. Like that, and then we could draw that in there. So that's like a 3D look through that object. But since we don't need any of that in, because we just want it to look like a real object, then we just add that in like that. Okay, so as you can see, we're really starting to build a kind of city, a scene, anything like that out. I mean, we could add posters and stuff on this wall, blah 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 blah, this kind of thing, and then we can basically go on a new layer or trace over the top of it and start creating objects and stuff. Now, I've purposely not gone into placing windows and how to know how far apart to place them so they make sense in perspective, because I'm going to be doing a video on measuring in perspective. And I might put that out this week, actually. I'll do one this week on measuring things in perspective. But what I will do is I will quickly put a window in, just so you can see how it's done. And then if you want to check back for the measuring one, then just go onto my channel. You can subscribe to my channel down below, and you will find all the videos on there. So we have like a set of windows. Now there are very technical ways to work out the positioning of things, which I will cover in a video, like I say. But for now, all we're going to do is work out the center of this, which is going to fall about there. I'm doing a bit of guesswork here. So this line here is the center line, okay? So let's break this out into, let's say, quarters. Like this. Like I say, I'll do a video on measuring things very soon. So I mean, I'm just guessing this line because I've not drawn through, which if I wanted it to be accurate, then I would have done, but I don't really want it to be accurate, to be honest. I'm just doing something quick. So in fact, let's get rid of all of this, and let's have a window there and a window there. So these two windows are the same size. And like I say, there will be a video this week on how to measure in perspective. So let me just clean it up a little bit. So these two windows are spaced apart the same and are the same height, width, everything like that. So we've got our windows on there, and again, this is a very, very basic scene. This is nothing like what you're actually going to want to draw, because I'm just basically drawing as I'm going along, and there's no like 3D parts here of where the door would connect and everything like that. I'm just basically showing you how squares and things work in perspective. But that's basically it. Okay, so this is how to draw a 1 point perspective. If there's anything you don't understand about what I've drawn, then just let me know. But the important thing is that you've got a horizon line, that's your eye line. In the center of that, you have a point, and all these things are coming off. Now, like I said, if you wanted the point not to be the bang center of the page, then you have to do a thing called framing, which framing is essentially, it's what it sounds like. It's the actual frame of the image. So let's do that, and let's put this brush size up so it's really big, like that. So say this is the size of your piece of paper. Now, once you've worked your perspective out and everything like that, all you have to do is this is going to be your piece of paper, the actual thing that people are going to see. Now, if you wanted to kind of see this cross section here, then you'd figure everything out, and look, this is the center of the page, and this is to the left, so it works out very nicely. And you can get some really cool images just by changing where your actual picture plane lies. So if you've got something like that, you're ignoring everything that's outside of this picture plane, and all you're getting is this little scene inside here. And that's how to kind of lay things out nicely. But I'll do a video on that again in the future. So if you have got anything from this video whatsoever, then tickle my down below, click the subscribe, click the like button down there, and let me know that you've got something from it. Leave a comment, and if there's something that I've not covered completely and that you think you would like to see, then leave a comment and let me know, and I'll try and do a video to help you out. Okay, so this has been 1 Point Perspective. Have an awesome week, and I'll see you later. Take care. Bye bye.